my friends, is Hot Toys moving towards a pre-order only platform? Does it have anything to do with this global economy right now, with the way things are in the 6-scale community? Is it good for Hot Toys? Is it good for resellers? Is it bad for Hot Toys? Is it bad for resellers? Is it good for me? Good for you? Bad for me? Bad for you? My coffee's real good for you. I'm brewing more because I'm all out of it with all the coffee I'm spilling lately. Secondary market has crazy news right now. Is it a buyer's market? Is it a seller's market? While the coffee's brewing, I do have some spatchka that I'm going to finish off, baby. Let's go ahead and dive into all of this right now. All right, and welcome everybody to another episode of the Market Value Chart Show right here at 6-Scale Cantina, soon to be Aries Cantina. Please go ahead and subscribe to the channel. I so very much appreciate your support. And while you're at it, go ahead and smash that like button. Again, thank you so much for your support. So we have a whole lot to get into when it comes to Star Wars Hot Toys within this episode. So without further ado, let's go ahead and start right now. So as you can see up on the screen already is 6scalecantina.com. And if you don't have 6scalecantina.com bookmarked, you just may want to consider doing so. It has all the latest information on everything going on at 6-Scale Cantina, Aries Cantina, on the channel right here. So definitely go ahead and bookmark it just for that. Also, everything going on with Star Wars Hot Toys within the secondary market, anything that's trending up, anything that's trending down, what the prices all are, even if they're just steady, and all the Star Wars Hot Toys news within the primary market. Again, 6scalecantina.com, ariescantina.com, your one-stop shop for everything Star Wars Hot Toys. Are you kidding me? And as you can see with Aries Cantina up on the screen right here, look at that awesome new logo, Aries Cantina logo. Really, really digging that. And of course, the latest show before the recording of this one, Cantina Live. We did that Friday afternoon because of this incredibly awesome crosshair announcement from Hot Toys. Wow. Coming up on the heels of R5-D4, that 3-droid pack, on the heels of Cobb Vanth, on the heels of the Third Sister, on the heels of the Grand Inquisitor, on the heels of so much heat this year. And you have to wonder, what about more heat coming in October and November and December, the fourth quarter here for 2022? We're going to dive into that a little bit later in this episode, for sure. But let's go ahead and go to the first segment of this market chart show, and we'll go to the biggest mover section. So at 6scalecantina.com, that is the second menu item underneath the Aries Cantina logo you see on the screen. After the home button, hit the biggest mover section button, and it will take you to the biggest mover section here at 6scalecantina.com. So some differences, as you can see here up on the screen. And let's go ahead and take a look and scan through this whole thing. So recent biggest movers Weeks of from 10/3 to 10/17. As of the recording here, October 16th here on a Sunday. Let's go look through here. So Obi-Wan, Revenge of the Sith Deluxe and Regular, absolutely on fire. And it doesn't matter that the Obi-Wan series has long been over at this point. Absolutely on fire within the secondary market. Obi-Wan from Revenge of the Sith, any version, deluxe or non-deluxe. Leia, forget about it. So you're seeing Leia Hoth on the screen trending up. There's the Arena Suit Boba Fett, again, second week in a row, trending up. Luke, Jedi Knight, again, trending down. And we're going to talk about that. Anakin Regular from Revenge of the Sith, trending up. Leia Bespin, forget about it. Continuing to scroll down here. Chrome Clone Trooper continues to now trend up. Leia A New Hope, forget about it. Dark Side Anakin, trending down, but trending down back to around the $800 tier range, which is where we're going to talk about that within this as well. Very, very, very high if you want to call it trending down. Just not at $1,000 tier range. And of course, the 40th anniversary figures, not the vintage color, but the regular Boba Fett 40th Deluxe in Darth Vader ESB 40th, trending down as well. What does all this mean? You got a nice mixture in this biggest mover section of certain figures trending up and certain figures trending down. And you have to wonder, does this equate one way or another to a buyer's market or a seller's market? Let's go through some of these figures before I give you my answer to that and paint a little bit of a picture with some data. So starting off first, as a lot of people want to know what is going on with the Arena Suit Boba Fett, what is going on with the Chrome Clone Trooper, since those exclusives are very, very recent, and pulling up some Arena Suit Boba Fett onto the screen, some data. And as this comes up, you can see right here, with this particular figure, $427. You got $30 in shipping. I'm going to take 10 off that, leave it at 20. About $427. Several bids. Great, great seller. 690 feedback. All 100% positive. Not including taxes as well. Gosh. Well over $450, $460 for this particular figure. Let's go again to something else over here. Arena Suit Boba Fett. And this one here, not even, well, look at this one here. All gone now. At $440, $439.99. And this is completely gone. And what I'm seeing with this particular figure here, the Arena Suit Boba Fett, is a couple of things. It's starting to trend up over the $420 tier range, closer and surely, slowly but surely, going to hit the $450 tier range. And eventually, as we discussed over the last several weeks, will go over the $500 tier range, in my view, for sure. Where it goes after there, we'll have to keep an eye on it. But is it possible that this figure will eventually breach the $600 tier range, even the $700 tier range? And I say yes. Yes, yes, yes. But what you're seeing here right now is even a more coveted, sought-after piece with the Arena Suit Boba Fett for the U.S. release with the shipper box. The shipper box now, with some of the sellers that are selling that with the shipper box, I'm seeing an even deeper dive for those figures that come with the shipper box here. So keep an eye on that for sure. The other thing that I'm noticing with the Arena Suit Boba Fett, and I mentioned it on a couple of shows last week, and a couple of shows that I was a guest on, is what's happening with this particular figure is when it was first going for $850 and beyond, Everybody who ordered that figure, not to sell it, but because they wanted it in their collection, or because they wanted it with their other novelty Fetts, the animated Boba Fett, the vintage color Boba Fett, those type of figures, they were like, hey, wait a minute, a good number of them anyway. If I can get Dark Side Anakin money for this, if I can get 2-pack money for this, i.e. Han and Chewie, A New Hope, i.e. Tarkin and Vader, A New Hope, come on. And you were seeing a lot of them trying to capitalize on that. So even though there was a low supply of these figures, only 3,000 globally, from what we have heard, everyone was trying to sell it. So it was available, and it wasn't moving anymore for that $800, $850 price. And as soon as everybody was getting it in, they were trying to capitalize. Not everybody, but a good portion of people. A lot of them anyway were trying to capitalize on getting kind of that big bucks. Then when it just started to sell for, around $400, once you start calculating, okay, you have to take time to ship it. You have to take time to pay your taxes, put away for that. You have to go ahead and tack in eBay fees, PayPal fees, this fee, whatever fee it is. And people are like, you know what? I really wanted this thing. That's great that it's worth, $450, but I'm okay. I think I'm going to hold on to it at this point. And I think that is exactly what is going on with the Arena Suit Boba Fett right now. You're starting to see less and less and less of them available on platforms like eBay, for instance. They're still available, but not available the way that they were when it first was getting available here in the States, for instance. So now you're starting to see the price start to go towards where I think it's going to go. It is going to slowly creep towards the animated Boba Fett, and I believe eventually will overtake the animated Boba Fett for the simple reason that they made so many more of the animated Boba Fett than they did this Arena Suit, for sure. So when you calculate a year from now, 2 years from now, forget about it. One thing's for sure. They will both be highly sought after Star Wars Hot Toys figures anyway that you slice it. So going back over here, let's go, before we check out what the price is for the Arena Suit Boba Fett, let's also look at some data on the Chrome Clone Trooper that was also just recently released from Hot Toys for Star Wars as exclusives. And then after we take a look at what's going on with that, we'll go to the market value chart and see exactly where these two are sitting. So really with the Chrome plated Clone Trooper, you're starting to see that creep up a little bit here, as I talked about last week. And you can see here, really, and already with a couple sold, $323, you're starting to see this sell more and more in the low 320s and starting to creep up a little bit. And really, where I felt with this one here, and really the ones that come with the shipper boxes are actually going for a little bit more from what I'm seeing. This is in no way going to be anywhere close to where the Arena Suit Boba Fett or the animated Fett are going to go. But I think the real interesting question here, gang, is it going to be like the porcelain regular OT Stormtrooper, or the bronze copper-plated exclusive Stormtrooper, OT Stormtrooper, some of those? And I say no. And I pointed this out before. Again, Hot Toys collectors have been looking forward to clone trooper releases from Hot Toys for years and years and years. Finally are getting them. And this, my friends, is a chrome clone trooper, coming with the two head sculpts there. And I think it's going to fetch anywhere from $25 to $75 more than like those porcelain Stormtroopers and those aforementioned. Not a great deal more, but still a slightly more. So anywhere between $350 to $400, I think that this Chrome Clone Trooper is going to wind up being. So again, at least breaching the $400 tier range or very low 400s in a year, couple years to come. Is it possible that that's where this may sit? And I say yes. Let's go back to 6scalecantina.com. And let's actually go to the third menu item under the logo. We're at the biggest movers section. Let's go to Star Wars Hot Toys Market Value Chart. And let's go ahead and put both of these in and see exactly where this is. So let's go to the Arena Suit Fett first. And then we'll go to the Chrome. And in the little search box there, I'm going to type in Arena. And it should come up with anything Arena. And there it is up on the screen. As you can see right below my video there. Arena Suit Boba Fett CMS 011. $430 now. And rising. So I think last week it was somewhere in the 420s. Now at $430 even. And climbing. We're going to keep an eye on that for sure. Let's put in Chrome. And see if we can get that Chrome Clone Trooper to come up. And there you can see that right there. MMS. $643. Now $320 and rising. And that is where those two figures are in the secondary market for Star Wars Hot Toys here at 6scalecantina.com. Going back to the biggest mover section, let's take a look at some of these other figures. And again, if you haven't hit that like button yet, don't forget to go ahead and smash that like button, my friends. Again, thank you so much for your support. Let's take a look at some of these other figures trending up and trending down here now and see if we could put together some type of trend collectively of what is going on. So let's take Obi-Wan Kenobi, for instance, and let's pull up some of these. Let's start with that. Pulling this up onto the screen. Here is an Obi-Wan Kenobi. Okay? Pulling this up onto the screen, this Obi-Wan, at $530, when you go ahead and calculate out the $85 in shipping and just leaving like $25 in there. Okay? So that's where I am coming up with that $530 number. So big number on an Obi Deluxe with a missing piece. And we all know if these Hot Toys are not complete, they're absolutely not anywhere close going to go where a very good condition used or new one goes for. But it's still going for this astronomical price. Are you kidding me? With an outstanding seller, 237 feedback, all 100% positive, and just back from October 6th as well. Let's go ahead and go to more Obi-Wan Kenobi. And pulling this up onto the screen here. And you can see right here from another outstanding seller. And pulling this up on the screen. And this is Tim Cent. Over 19,070 feedback. All 100% positive. Look at this here with 164 sold. But honestly, with a couple recently, and just this month, $798, of course, free shipping. But are you kidding me? And I've been showing you week after week, and month after month, and even before the Obi-Wan series, how whether it's the regular or the deluxe version of this particular figure is just absolutely on fire. And whether it's a buyer's market, a seller's market, a combination of both, any market, this Obi-Wan Kenobi from the Revenge of the Sith is just on fire any way that you slice it right now. Missing pieces or not, brand new or not, shipper box or not, it just doesn't matter. It's just plain hot, baby. And, you know, this figure is one of my absolute favorite figures within my collection for sure, as I move towards the 6 scale Cantina Thermos, baby. When you have this in hand, And you just look at this head sculpt. And I just personally really, really love this figure. And he's such an intricate part of Star Wars. Obi-Wan Kenobi is. Ewan McGregor is such a masterful actor and has done such a wonderful job coming into Star Wars. And this particular figure right here is just so coveted, not only for collectors that are already in the hobby that are looking for this figure, but for new collectors coming in. And it's real interesting, even with the new DX Obi-Wan Kenobi available from the Obi-Wan series. I am not seeing any significant change with this figure at all within the secondary market, even though people know that that DX27 for $295 is going to be coming next year. And you have to wonder, is it possible that when they release, officially announce, officially drop, that General Kenobi from the Clone Wars that they have teased, and also teased within the prototype pictures of that Clone Wars Anakin figure, if that will affect the price of this figure? And I say no. Remember, when they put out that Clone Wars Anakin, it didn't affect at all the dark side Anakin or the regular Anakin. It's the same head sculpt that's out now. And I think that's exactly what you're going to see here. It actually did for like the first month slightly when those were first announced. But I don't think it's going to have, and then it had no effect at all. Those just kept going up. And we all know where they are in the market. We're going to be taking a look at those in a minute. And I think you're looking at the same exact scenario here. This is a Revenge of the Sith Obi-Wan Kenobi. Obi-Wan Kenobi is a pivotal main character for everything that transpired within the Revenge of the Sith. And I think for a lot of collectors, this is just a must-have. For sure. So this particular figure going insane, and we're going to take a look at that within the secondary market for sure. And then his counterpart in there. And let's go ahead and look at, let's look at Dark Side Anakin and regular Anakin. So I'm noticing that regular Anakin, and I've been telling you this the last couple of weeks, it trended down. Remember, regular Anakin was going for $900, and Dark Side Anakin was going for $1,000, $1,200. Came back to earth those figures a little bit. And now you're seeing regular Anakin go just about where the Obi-Wan is right now. Okay, and Dark Side Anakin, somewhere between $600-$700, which is where regular Anakin is. And Dark Side Anakin being around $800, which is pretty much where I see him. But you can go ahead and take a look. Let's look at that Dark Side Anakin. And you can see one of the items right here that I'm going to pull up. So this one here, very good seller. Almost 200 feedback. All 100% positive. $900. Best offer. A lot of times these best offers are only $5, $15, maybe $25. I'm going to go ahead and say $100 off. Let's just say that this sold for about $800 with the free shipping. But honestly, that's around where this is, the average for the Dark Side Anakin right now. And, just sold over the last week or so for Dark Side Anakin. Let's pull up some other Anakins as well. And let's go with a regular Anakin. And actually going for a pretty good price. Buy it now here. And this one here, from Hawk Wars Toys, Ray at Hawk Wars Toys, now 1,352 feedback, all 100% positive. And what a great price for this figure, $615. And you can see, because a lot of times Ray will put in a best offer with all his figures, not even a best offer here, just sold $615, boom. And slightly under the average he had this one here. So good on you, Ray. Great price. Not including the $24.11 in shipping. Not including taxes. But going well back over $600 for a regular Anakin. Again, and I love these sellers. As you can see, Hawk Wars Toys right here that put in these pictures up onto the screen. I really, really dig when you start putting in pictures of these figures, so it leaves no guesswork. Look at these here. Pulling these up on the screen. Nice there. You can see the whole figure up close. You can see it in the clamshell. Of course, you got your regular figures. You got even more up close. Hopefully that's coming through on the screen here for you all to see. Yeah, good job. I mean, and when you see the detail of these particular, and I'm trying to move my screens over here. You're getting seeing the backstage stuff here. Yeah, you can see that. Look at that head sculpt. Look at those, that's amazing pictures. That's what I want to see sellers do. And that's absolutely fantastic for sure. Pulling this up onto the screen. I mean, just look at that. Wow, I love this head sculpt. Absolutely love it. And then really, let's go ahead and take a look at the market value chart on where Anakin, Darkside Anakin, and Obi-Wan is. But this is a great price with Hawk Wars. And really, I mean, honestly, before you even do that, pulling this up onto the screen, here's Hawk Wars everything. And whenever you find a seller like Hawk Wars or any of these that have really, really good feedback and put up a lot of pictures, I highly recommend checking out their stores, their comic shops, and different things. There's so many good ones out there, including Ray. But pulling this up onto the screen, look at all this heat that he has up on here that you can see. There's a Leia Hoth. And look at the Luke Trooper and Han Trooper. Not bad prices on these. Wow. You just got to go check it out. You're looking for some legacy characters. Leia Hoth, Stormtrooper Luke. Are you kidding me? Stormtrooper Han. Seen it go higher for that recently. And then you see a lot of the stuff in stock. Like, look at that. Look at the 2-pack Boba Fett, regular Boba Fett, Jango Fett, 501st. Pretty good. You're seeing a New Hope Obi-Wan here. Leia and Wicket. Wow. And look, a Tarkin and Vader. A Tarkin and Vader. Wow, I may have to hit you up on that, Ray. Look at that. Tarkin and Vader here. At the market price, and you can make an offer on it. Anyway, good stuff here. Good sellers. Let's go back to 6scalecantina.com. And let's go to the market value chart and see exactly where Obi-Wan is. Let's look at these Obi-Wans. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to sort it out best-selling wise instead of just plugging in all of these. They'll be up near the top. And all you got to do is go to the current value column at 6scalecantina.com and click on the current value column arrows. When you hit on it twice, you get the highest ranked figures to the lowest ranked figures so that it's easy to navigate. And let's go ahead and take some of these here and I'll try and highlight it. So for Obi-Wan Deluxe, pulling that up onto the screen, $670 and rising. Wow. So just $30 away from the $700 tier range. Let's kind of go up a little bit to the 4th ranked figure. That's Darkside Anakin. Remember, it was number 1 ahead of all these 2-packs just a couple months ago, but then it came back down to earth. It is just one figure. And now $888 and trending down. So again, when I say it's trending down from where it was. But it's the highest single figure to get. 800 without question right now. More than any other figure, the Darkside Anakin figure by itself is the most highest priced trending figure for Star Wars Hot Toys. Period. 6 scale for sure. Let's go to regular Anakin from Revenge of the Sith, and you can see here also MMS for 37 there, $629 and rising. So a buck away from $630, and that is rising up as well. So that is where the market values are. And you can always just go to 6scalecantina.com, go to the market value chart, see the prices and trends for all of these figures on your own. It's a lot of fun. You'll spill your coffee, and it's just good old fun, for sure. But that's what you're seeing with those three. Let's go back to the biggest mover section before we go to the next segment. So now that we're back at the biggest mover section, let's get into if this is a buyer's market or a seller's market. And quite frankly, I think it's a mixture of both, as I was talking about the last several weeks. Certainly, about 6 weeks ago, it was 1,000% moving from a seller's market to a buyer's market. Then recently, over the last few weeks, it has morphed into a little bit of both. And you have to wonder, is it possible that the reason for this is partly due to the market eclipse that is going on with the primary market, with everything that's going on with collectors not understanding if they should pre-order, shouldn't they pre-order, is it going to get in stock, is it not going to get in stock, well, wait a minute, am I going to get coupons, is it going to be in the bargain bin, what do I do, how do I breathe, how do I do this, etc., etc. And I say, yes, it does partly have to do with all of that. A lot of times during an eclipse, you froze to kind of take a look. What's going on here, baby? What's going on? And I think what you're starting to see now with a lot of these figures, like for instance, when you're looking at the biggest mover section, up here that you're seeing on the screen, up right there, going back to it, you got figures trending up, you got figures that are trending down. And Obi-Wan's trending up, Leia, of course, trending up, Burrito Soup, Boba Fett up, but you got Luke trending down, that one Luke anyway. You've got Darkside Anakin trending down, as we talked about. You got the 40th anniversary Darth Vader trending down. You got the Boba Fett Empire Strikes Back 40th trending down. And while you have some figures such as the Leia New Hope, the Leia Bespin, the Leia Hoth, and the Obi-Wan Revenge of the Sith that are fetching very, very high, certainly in the seller's market range, you get some figures that are going to be a little bit lower right now, anywhere from $20 to $50 under, during this little bit of a mixture of both. For instance, I could pull up this Darth Maul, this DX16 just up on the screen for you right here. And while you're going to say, well, Aries, that's a pretty hefty price, just back from October 14th, with 9 bids at $445 for a DX16. Well, of course it is, and that's a great seller. But it's still about, 20, 30 bucks under the average. Again, if you have an average, if a figure's selling 500, that means it's going to sell 375, 400 sometimes. That means sometimes it's also going to sell 600, $650 sometimes. You get an average. But what I'm seeing with a lot of the figures anyway is right now, you can 1,000% get some bargains if you exercise patience. And you could get it a little bit under. And some even more than others, for sure. I'll put up another very highly sought after figure besides Darth Maul, of course, for the Phantom Menace. But look at this right here. And this is Luke A New Hope. This special edition piece. $390, not including the $20 in shipping, so $410, not including taxes. Wow, Aries. Yeah, and I understand. What is the market value of this? $420, something like that. But still, not going above that average, a little bit below. And sometimes in a buyer's market, you find some deals where they're not like excessively swelling outside of that average and rising. Kind of a little dormant right now. A lot of stuff steady. And then you get some figures that were not going that high, like for instance, the last 12 months, to be quite frank with you. The Return of the Jedi Boba Fett without the Sarlacc pit, just the Fett, Return of the Jedi, you could get in the low 300s. Like low. Like sometimes right at 300. And we've all known that that's been, or if you didn't know, now you heard it here, that can go on. But you can look right now during this kind of eclipse. I could pull up a Return of the Jedi Fett, and there's nothing missing on this. And yes, it is used, but just back from October 6th, $265. Sure, over 30 bids. Great seller. Not including the $25 near in shipping. But that's pretty darn good for a Return of the Jedi Boba Fett if you're looking for one for your collection. And that's a little bit under the average. And that's what I'm seeing right now as a little bit of a hodgepodge for sure as I'm pulling these up onto the screen and you're seeing there. So what I think is going to happen, is it a buyer's market? Is it a seller's market? Pulling up the banner for this show. This is what made you click on this video. And we're going to be getting into the points. What are the first points over there? Obviously, the big point, pre-orders only. We're going to be getting into that. But secondary market, is it a buyer's market? And I say partly. Right now, if you exercise some patience, you can find some good deals. Is it going to continue for the holiday season? And I say, I don't know. I don't think so. Normally, the thing would be when it comes to Star Wars Hot Toys, I'm able to get this figure during Christmas. People are looking to sell to get money real quick, fast, in a hurry. That wasn't the case last year at all. Everyone was thinking, that's going to happen with Rey and Dio. Okay, I'll be able to get her for $250 because people don't want to hold on to it. No, she was going for $400. It was a complete contrary. Everything was. And I think where Star Wars is, that's the same exact thing that's going to happen. Personally, I think what's happening right now is this market eclipse where people don't know where exactly this is going to go. In the primary market, which has nothing to do with the secondary market in some ways, it's just kind of stifling. You're kind of like frozen. You're kind of like, what do I do? And I think that that's what's going on right here. We're starting to come out of it a little bit. And I think that the pieces are starting to fall into place. I think that there are breadcrumbs that we can follow. And I'm going to try and lay it out for you here today. I do think that as we get closer to the holidays, and especially as we march towards The Mandalorian Season 3 in February, that it will 1,000% become a seller's market once again. Just saying. All right. So now that we've established that it is both a buyer's and seller's market, and I believe it's going to move towards more of a seller's market, especially as we approach The Mandalorian Season 3 more and more. How does this tie into everything else? The secondary market, primary market, the whole market when it comes to Hot Toys. Right here I just put up, as you can see here, the banner for this particular show. And let's look at the headline here, because this is going into the next segment. Pre-orders only. Is Hot Toys moving to a pre-order only business model? And I say yes. Look, here it is in the bottom line of what I want to talk to you about. When you look at Cobb Vanth, see right there? R2, 20th anniversary R2. Cad Bane. Boy, that Cad Bane and that Cobb, especially Cobb without that armor, baby, it's going to look real good together, aren't they? But are they going to get in stock? And I don't necessarily believe that they will. Because I believe what they're going to do is they're going to want to make their money. They're going to want to sell these while the tag says pre-order. And then when they've sold where the interest is there, they're going to be done. And why? Because they 1,000% do not want to, at this time, sit on any stock when it comes to Hot Toys. And really, in an economy such as this, when it's like a global economic recession, historically, when it comes to these type of collectibles and other products such as this, keep maintaining stock is a thing that doesn't happen during an economic recession. And when you combine that with the fact that I think that Hot Toys and Sideshow and all these retailers and resellers over-projected just how many of these Hot Toys that they were going to be able to sell through COVID and now coming out of COVID into the recession that it is, they over-projected. And I don't care what the character is, in my view. Whether it's Darth Vader, Cobb Vanth, or a character that people feel is not very popular, such as the third sister, or someone like Quill, or whatever, whoever it is. It doesn't matter. I don't believe that they're going to keep stock of that figure in there. It's going to go to a pre-order model of business. And that is part of what I have been talking about here at 6 Scale Cantina since I started this channel. Lower production, more announcements. And the argument would be, well, how are people going to get Timothy Olyphant then, Aries, if they're not going to get it in stock? Well, they're going to get Timothy Olyphant because he was in the ending credit scene in the Book of Boba Fett, which means that Favreau and Filoni and Disney are going to bring Timothy Olyphant back in future Star Wars content. So rest assured, as they invested R&D into this head sculpt, that they are going to use it again and again, and quite possibly again and again. The same thing with Cad Bane. This isn't the only Cad Bane you will ever see. The same with this R2-D2. It certainly isn't the first. And quite frankly, it is most certainly not the last R2 that we are going to get. You're probably going to get an R2-D2 from the Return of the Jedi for the 40th anniversary of Return of the Jedi next year, possibly on May 4th again. And that would be wonderful if it's one of those battle-damaged R2s, you know, when he was kind of blasted during trying to open the blast doors from Endor in Return of the Jedi. I could see that from a mile away with something like that forthcoming. Anyway, not to digress. You're going to get all of these figures that you see up over here in 2.0s and different versions, or maybe even just straight up reissues. And they're going to make what they're going to make off the pre-orders. I have inside information, real inside information, that with some resellers and with some retailers with these purchase orders, that they are being asked, hey, double check the amount that you want, because the amount that you want is all that you're going to get. And you're not going to be able to return it and get a credit for it. And we're not going to have any more that we're going to make in subsequent batches. And I believe that's for, now I'm not saying what figures that's for or whatnot, but I believe it's for all the figures. Everything from Cobb Vanth to Cad Bane to the 20th R2-D2 to the DX25 Luke Skywalker. In this economy right now, if you think you're going to be able to get a discount on the Bespin Luke DX25 like you are with Captain Rex, like you are with the armor, you may have to reconsider that option. Because I think you're going to be SOL if you're waiting for next year's Spooktacular to get that discount. Because the story is quickly changing because of everything that you know. What do you know? You know that you can wait for it to get in stock, don't you? You knew that you could get it cheaper from some other websites overseas, didn't you? You know that you could wait for a coupon at Sideshow, don't you? You know that you could even wait for the better coupons at Sideshow, don't you? And you have to wonder, is it possible that Sideshow and Hot Toys also can compute that and can see that and feel that and want to change that? And I say yes. And unfortunately, if you think that they just don't see it and they want to continue to keep things in stock and lose money and not recuperate and not recoup it, I don't know what to tell you, because I think that you really are living in Disney World, wishing upon a star for coupons for years and years to come. It's not going to happen with these particular figures. But then how do they satisfy collectors that decided that they wanted it after the final production photos came out. Well, there's going to be 2.0s. Again, the Bespin Luke DX25, my friends, is certainly not the first Luke, right? And it most certainly will not be the last. You're going to go ahead and get the battle-damaged Bespin Luke Skywalker. That's coming. You're going to go ahead and get a Huff Luke Skywalker. That's coming. You're going to go ahead and get another Return of the Jedi Luke Skywalker with the 40th anniversary. That's coming. You're going to get another A New Hope Luke Skywalker. Probably a couple of variations of that. Certainly a Farm Boy Luke. Certainly a Yellow Jacket Ceremony Luke. You're certainly going to be getting Lukes from The Mandalorian. Without question. Probably going to get a Luke and Grogu from the Book of Boba Fett. Probably going to get one if he shows up from The Mandalorian Season 3. Most certainly if he shows up from the Ahsoka series. How many Lokis do you have? How many Iron Mans do you have? How many Spider-Mans do you have? And now, Star Wars on the same plane. But they don't want to sit on these Star Wars figures, on these Marvel figures, on any of these figures. So I believe it's going to move towards a pre-order model where they're going to put all their money into the pre-orders. And by putting the low stock warnings, like they are doing, with the KX Enforcer droid, with the aforementioned Peacemaker, with the Kate Bishop, with the Batmobile, with the quarter scale Boba Fett's. You can see right here. Right here. There is your KX Enforcer droid. And it has a low stock warning. And basically it moved this piece up from being by the Jet Troopers all the way to what? Number 4, number 2, number 3, best-selling wise, when you sorted out not only Star Wars, but all Hot Toys. So they're basically telling you, get this while we have it. You got a low stock warning. Because once the low stock warning is done, once the pieces are done, there's not going to be no more. And furthermore, I believe that anyone who's going to be an official reseller, whether it's Sideshow or somebody else or whatever, they also have their own warning. Buy what you're going to buy. And that's it. There's not going to be anything extra that you're going to be able to get. And that's going to be it. And they're going to make all the money for whatever the heat is now. And then once this comes out, if there's any ifs, well, I think we'll sell 1,000, or I'm not sure we'll sell 1,000, or this or that. That's it. But then how do they make the money that they were going to make? The money that they were going to get like a couple of years ago if it got in stock. Where do they get that money? How does someone like Sideshow make that money back, baby? Let me tell you how they make it back. They make it back the same way Hot Toys is making it back. Because if Sideshow is ordering less, pay very close attention, that means that Hot Toys is making less. So how does Hot Toys fix this? Hot Toys puts out more with different variations so that they're able to get the same amount of volume of purchase order money that they can. And quite frankly, it works out very, very well for them because I believe in the long run, and probably even right now, is it possible that they'll actually make even more money with the different variations? And I say, yes, this happens a lot in manufacturing. So Hot Toys, instead of being able to make 20,000 of one figure, now has to find a way to be able to make 20,000 of 4 figures. But a lot of times when you're doing that, it winds up being that 20 turns into 30. Like, oh, I'll take 5. How about 6, 7? Okay, we'll take 6 or 7,000. Now, all of a sudden, you're selling less of each one. But someone like Sideshow, for instance, is saying, okay, well, we're going to take whatever you put out. Which they will. So now Hot Toys recoups the money that they're losing off the purchase orders that used to be bigger by having more offerings out there, and then the purchase orders equal out and probably go a little bit even beyond. So now Hot Toys becomes fine, but they have to change their mechanism. They have to change the way of things. They have to change their approach. They have to change their business model. And then the same thing when it comes to someone like Sideshow, for instance. Because they're saying, hey, well, if it's not sitting in stock, so how do they make money? Well, first of all, they're not making very much money on it anyway. That's why they're giving away all these coupons and offerings out the wazoo. These aren't coupons because it's a special event all the time. It's an overstock. It's very noticeable with so many retailers. You can use Sideshow as an example. Looks that way to me. And what do they do, though, with the money that they make with the stuff that's in stock? Give me more pre-orders if I'm Sideshow, for instance. Now, with more pre-orders, you got K2SO. If you come out, this KX Enforcer droid. Ares, they didn't have enough for people that wanted KX Enforcer droid once it comes out. That's okay, because now you could give them a K2SO reissue. And all of a sudden, there's going to be 1,000, 2,000 pre-orders or 3,000 pre-orders for a new K2SO from Rogue One, or if he shows up in the Andor series or in the Andor Season 2 or whatever it is. And now they get more money from pre-orders, someone like Sideshow does. And all that Hot Toys had to do was change the label, take off this weathering, and instead of putting in KX Enforcer droid, say it's K2SO. And now, all of a sudden, instead of worrying about, okay, we'll take 3,000 more KX Enforcer droids, where Sideshow's saying, no, we don't want to sit on 3,000. It's a bad economy. But if you put out another K2SO, we'll take 3,000 of those. Okay, well, if you'll do that, we're just going to come out with a 2.0 K2SO. And that is exactly, folks, what they are going to do. And that's why this is moving towards a pre-order mechanism. Absolutely, 1,000% for sure. Now, what does this all mean for us as collectors? And really, this is the big question. And I'm going to pull back up 6-Scale Cantina. And I'm going to show you here. And I'm going to blow it up onto the screen so you're able to see it bigger. And you see my logo again. But I'm going to actually go down to here and show you the all-new Cantina Insider, exclusive Cantina Insider only show. And if you want some expanded thoughts and heightened analysis on what I'm talking about here, and I am going to talk about this during 6-Scale Raw tomorrow night at 8:15 p.m. Eastern. I'll have a full panel in. But with the full panel, we're going to get everybody's thoughts, and I'm only going to be able to talk so much, and I don't talk a whole lot during those. But I have some fun. But let me blow this up a little bit. That's the latest show. So if you're watching this here and you become a Cantina Insider, you can 1,000%. This is going to be uploaded tonight. This is an exclusive Cantina Insider show. Waitlist alerts. You're seeing that on your screen. You see that awesome DX28 Darth Vader. Why it doesn't matter as much as you think. Well, what are you talking about? Exactly what I said. Everything that we've been talking about here on this episode. It doesn't really matter as much as you think. As a matter of fact, I think it's going to be better for you. It's going to be better for me, and it's going to be better for collectors who struggle in general. Listen, it doesn't really matter. This really doesn't change as much as you think. It actually cleans up the market. It actually brings order to the galaxy. It'll actually help you prioritize. It'll actually help you monetize and charge yourself in your own way. amongst other things. While this is happening, and there's going to be an overabundance and probably, and for some people, a scare with these wait lists that are coming, I'm going to tell you why it doesn't really even matter. Remember, all of the truths we cling to depend greatly on our own point of view. Click on the join button on the channel. See everything that it comes with. If you think you can benefit from it, you may want to consider becoming a 6-Scale Cantina, an Aries Cantina Insider, a Cantina Insider. You get wonderful shows like this where I give you expanded thoughts and heightened analysis. You're going to get this one. Insiders are going to get this sometimes tonight. I am going to talk about it during 6-Scale Raw tomorrow at 8:15 p.m. Eastern. Don't forget to tune into that. You can come to 6scalecantina.com over here. Everything that's in this yellow area is Cantina Insider sneak peek stuff. You get all kinds of cool stuff. Look at that Dark Sisters. Dark Sisters was just an awesome show. Look at how awesome these ladies look. There's Darkseid Rey. There's Darth Talon. There's Ventress. Oh my God. Look at that. Look at my Boba Fett 2-pack unboxing. It's a crazy unboxing. Yeah, it's split screen. Yeah, it's incredible. Pleather cracking and collecting climate tips. Are you kidding me? Yeah, you get all that, baby. You get all that, baby. You're seeing that up on there. All that up on there. Let's continue to scroll down even more. There's the NWO. And while we have the NWO up, what you gonna do when Aries goes 6-Scale Raw on you tomorrow at 8:15 p.m. Eastern? What you gonna do? There's Grogu hanging out with those guys. I wonder who's more powerful, the NWO or Grogu? You have to wonder. You get so many other stuff. Also, if you want actually a free video, like a Cantina Insider video, go right to 6scalecantina.com. You'll see this free Insiders membership video sample below. I give Insiders sneak peek quarter scale Grogu. The whole unboxing is there. It's a crazy unboxing. It has split screen. Just warning, if you don't think you want the quarter scale Grogu and then you watch my video, some of you will change your mind, as some of you have let me know. But if you watch this video, then you may say, you know what? I got to become an insider with this guy. Anyway, you may want to consider doing so. You're going to get that expanded thoughts and heightened analysis. We're going to talk about it tomorrow on 6-Scale Raw. Waitlist alerts may not matter as much as you think. Again, Insiders coming tonight. 6-Scale Raw, 8:15 p.m. tomorrow, October 17th. This video here, coming out late today out of Sunday, but I did get it out. Please smash that like button. I hope I was able to open your eyes as to what may be happening here. I'm telling you, it's all good. Change is never fun. Change is unpredictable. Change could be frightening. But I'm telling you that this change is necessary in order for these companies to survive, in order for these companies to be able to turn a profit, in order for these companies to be able to come out strong coming out of COVID, in order for these companies being able to survive this global economic recession. And I'm telling you, with these waitlist alerts, is it possible that it could help you survive? And I say, hell yes. Insiders. And I'll talk about it tomorrow. Follow me on Facebook and Instagram. I got my social links within the video description below. If you're not part of my Facebook group, it almost has 1,000 members. Click on the link. It's free. Instagram, I always put up good stuff. Click on the link. Join. Follow me. It's free. Become a Cantina Insider. It's not free, but it's cheap. You'll like it anyway. I don't always buy wizard juice out. But when I do, I buy it from 6-Scale Cantina. Stay thirsty, my friends.